our remit in terms of dealing with that.
Colin Sampson, Carabinero.
Yes, thank you very much. I wanted to return a bit to the matter of the loan itself. 300 million RMB is the global figure. An amount of 147 RMB has been attached to work done by EXMIA. Now, I am to understand that work included the sourcing of the generator sets and the auxiliaries, transportation, installation, commissioning. Is that correct? And if so, where does the other 24 million US or the other 153 million yuan come in?
Mr. Li Rensong from BCEG. Mr. Zhang Man. 这个问题我来简单回答一下。So, Mr. Outside, I would like to answer this question very shortly. XMEA 是安巴电厂的一个设备供应商。So XMEA is only a supplier of some parts or the engines and some auxiliaries of this power plant. 他们在这个项目当中的角色只是一个 supplier. And it is only a supplier. 对，其实这是一个 one of suppliers only. 安巴电厂建设是由刚才我在这个表述中已经表达了，安巴电厂建设叫 EPC 合同，是包括设计、采购、施工一体化的。As I have mentioned in my speech, that the BCEG is an EPC contract, which means BCEG is responsible for the design, for the purchase, and also for the construction. 除了这个设备采购以外，我没有其他的相关工作，我也不想再重复表达了。但是我只想说，刚才说的 XMEA 它只是我们的供货商之一，它供的是再强调一遍，就是6套的这个发电机组和部分副机。Okay. In addition, there are a lot of other works like the labels, like some construction works. I don't want to be more specific, but what I want to reconfirm my point is that the XMEA is only one of the suppliers only. He is only responsible for assembling the generator sites and some of the auxiliaries. That's it.
If I could just to end my question, clarify then my understanding that the issue seems to be lack of understanding of the global nature of the contract. People hear about 300 million, they hear about 147 million RMB, but there is a haze that covers the remainder that is not applied to XMEA. XMEA is attached to 147 million RMB, which means there's 153 that is unknown. That may be part of your problem.
那就再表达一下，就是说刚才除了这个设备采购以外，有大量的这个项目建造的其他工作，这个工作要不然就再给说一遍，就是白照面。So, as I mentioned in my speech, that the other 153 million yuan cover the areas including the other parts of the overall projects, like the plant construction, like the site construction, like the oil storage facilities, like the chemical water system, like the firefighting system, the steam exhausting air system, the hosting system, the hydropower system, the lightning protection system, and the overall control system, and also the design fees. A lot of things. I don't know if you can answer the question. Mr. Prime Minister, you wish to come?
No, I was just going to make the general point that 6 engines manufactured by a company does not a power plant make. That's the point we're trying to get across. And the 147 RMB million speak to the manufacture of 6 engines. with some yes.
I don't quite follow you.
What do you mean they don't quite
Because
follow me?
from what Mr. Zhao has said, there's a whole schmear, a whole list of issues that have to be accounted for.
I am talking, Mr. Colin Sampson, about the production of 6 engines and some auxiliary at 147 RMB. That is what that cost is about. The point I'm making is that when you take that, you can't get a power plant from that. There's a number of other things that go, and he was listing the various areas. Clavis Joseph had listed them earlier. The different things, you have to build a power plant, you have to do a number of other things. It's right there, and that gives you the additional amounts of money that you all say you want to know. Where the money gone? The money gone right there in terms of the other things that you need to build.
Thank you very much.
To put in place for a power plant.
Alyssa Simon.
This question is for Thank you. This question is for Mr. Martin. As far as we spoke today about the 2.7 million that will be saved per month, does this translate to savings for the APOA customers, and if so, how?
Not yet. Thank you. Let me just add this: as long as fuel prices remain the way they are, even though we are in the process of conducting a tariff study, it will be difficult for us to adjust our rates given our current obligations with respect to fuel and energy costs to our independent power producers.
But I'm prepared to go further. I mean, I can understand that. The general manager is speaking from a position where he has to deal with reality. But at the same time, it is important for all of us to understand that there are concerns by APO itself about the cost of electricity. It's a concern that the government has. And so it's not a situation where we're ignoring that and say, well, oh, the cost is there and that's it. No, no, no. We have decided to embark upon a proper audit with respect to the cost elements and so on and so on. And we are hoping that with some degree of restructuring and a number of things taking place, that the possibility does exist, and that is the objective, to see to what extent we are able to make adjustments to the rates being paid by both domestic and commercial consumers. But we can't tell you today that simply by virtue of bringing the Chinese plant on stream, that would automatically lead to a reduction in rates. It is placing us in a position where future consideration in terms of the overall thing, it would help us to be able to arrive at a position where ultimately adjustments could be made.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you very much for your questions. As mentioned, feel free to drop us your email of any further questions you may have, and we'll expeditiously return answers to you. The Honourable Prime Minister will give some closing remarks.
Well, just briefly to say that this exercise was extremely useful, and I want to thank the media for coming and posing their questions. I hope that they probably would have a better understanding and appreciation of the situation. And just to say that there are no devils there to want to dwell on. The situation is quite clear. We ordered 6 new engines. We received 6 new engines. The normal situation is that you go through a teething process with the nature of this thing is such that you have to be doing things from time to time, and so when you go there and you see some oil on the floor and you see some erosion of some of the stuff and so on, that in itself, and you can't just listen to the engine and say, like one minister said when he visited, just by listening to the engine he concluded that these were old plants, old engines. Now well, and said he accustomed to things. Well, maybe he's accustomed to listen to things, I don't know. But the point is, let us put this thing into proper perspective. And when it comes to the whole question, I hope that we have been able to demystify this thing about 147 RMB and 300 million RMB. There are no devils there. The money disappear. As was explained also, we have neither APUA nor the government has anything to do with the disbursement of funds. The mechanism is such that nothing comes to Antigua under the control of the Treasury, Ministry of Finance or anywhere in relation to this issue. It is dealt with in a particular way. And as far as I know, this is how it's done internationally when they have these projects with developing countries. That's the structure. So I would hope that this would bring an end to the spurious allegations that are out there and all these things, because it is not doing the image of Antigua and Barbuda any good, and the relationship that we've been able to forge with the People's Republic of China over the years. I want to thank Ambassador Han Ming for making sure that we were able to assemble representation from the Exim Bank and also from BCEG to come here and participate in this whole thing, so that we will bring some clarity and some semblance of sanity back into this whole situation. Thank you very much.
Ladies and Ambassador.
我还是想说一下1.47亿和3个亿之间的关系。
Ladies and gentlemen, I also would like to endorse what Prime Minister just said regarding the relation between the 147 million and the 300 million.
1.47亿是设备，6台机组和部分设备，3个亿是全部。
The 147, it's the 6 generators and a part of the auxiliary, and the 300 million is the amount of the whole contract.
我可以负责任的讲，如果有哪一位去招标、去世界论价，1.47个亿能建成这么一个样的电厂，我们可以再给他建2个。
I can be responsible to say if any friends can seek to the international contractor, if they can use the 147 million RMB to build such a size of the power plant. If it is the case, we can build in this price for you another two more power plants in the same price.
我真的希望大家去电厂看一看就知道了。
I wish all the friends from the press, maybe you can have the appropriate opportunity. Maybe you can to go to the airport power plant to see from your eyes what's happening in reality.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a brief moment for the Honorable Prime Minister, the ambassadors, Mr. Lee and Mr. Chow, to depart, along with the Chairman, Board of Commissioners. Thank you very much.